Hello. Now my microphone should work. Let me just double check the settings to the microphone. Uh, let's see. Microphone, yeah, that should be loud enough, I think. What if I turn it up a bit? Does that work? Yep. And background score, let me just double check. Settings to the microphone. Let's see. Microphone, yeah, that should be loud enough. Can you hear the background music? It does work. Yeah, it does work, doesn't it? Can you guys hear the background score though? That's the question. Yeah, you should be able to. I'm using Chesh's music that she provided because she said not to use YouTube music. So, yeah. Let me see. Let me just make sure that everything's set properly before we start. Yeah, I think so. That should work. Microphone settings, though. There we go. Just get on with it. Okay, alright, alright. Sorry. Feline has no chill today. She has no chill. Or they have no chill, sorry. Feline's like, get on with it, woman. You already made us wait. So I decided, like, it's Boxing Day. I don't celebrate Christmas or Boxing Day. I don't have a family here, and everyone around me, they have their own families, so you know they're celebrating with. So I'm here. So I decided to make a fun stream. If you guys, you know, you're with your family or you're somewhere and you want just something to play randomly in the background as you are, you know, going about your house with your family and everything. Oxkull from the live chat. Grr, I'm listening on my phone and just got an ad. Oh, damn, dude. Sorry about that. So, what am I planning to do today? So, obviously, when I do my streaming, it's usually around Steve or Erin. So, I decided to go through Erin's tweets today and see what she has been tweeting since her last live stream she did, and since she skipped her hearing, contempt hearing, and to go through her tweets and, you know, see what narrative is she trying to rewrite now, the history that she's trying to rewrite now, and correct it if I can. Also, then I've decided to cover one of her last live streams. This is the one, entitlement is still a disease and hidden true crime needs quarantine, blah blah blah. So it's apparently the same woman, Lauren, I think so, and she's commenting on one of her live streams with her husband. I don't know who the other chap is. I think so, it's her husband. So, and again, I'm going to do this case. If we are not spending too much time on the tweets, I will cover this stream, and I will obviously comment at, you know, again, compare with her own restraining order and show how she has different standards for other people, and she has very different convenient standards for herself. So yeah, that's what the plan is to do today. Hopefully, by the time I go like into the first 15 minutes of this, Chesh is up, and we can talk. Athens from the live chat said, "I'm at work." You're at work, dude. Ah, sorry. I see you've changed your profile picture. That's a very cute profile picture that you have. So yeah. So that's what we will do. So if I just might make this a little smaller, just so that. And I will start from here. Erin and I have been a lot of back and forths. So, but I'm just looking at my notes because, again, I make notes because I want to make sure that I'm on track, one, and number two, that I don't say something that may not make sense, or I might have to, you know, correct again and again later. Things happen. I'm still, you know, a human, but, right, I try to improve every time. So yeah, so let me see if I can make this a little more smaller. That's fine. This is the one, right? Yeah, this is much better. And we'll take it from here. So yeah, welcome everyone, and yeah, hopefully I don't bore you too much, and the background music is better this time, because the feedback I got last time was that the last time the background music that I was playing was really dramatic and didn't match the vibes of the stream. So I took that advice. I asked Chesh, she gave me her playlist that she had, so that's what I'm playing in the background today. So we will start with I'm just going through my notes. Let's see. Notes. There's so many notes. Oh my god. I might just one day just like make a booklet of them and just release all of them for everyone to read if they want to have a you know. But yeah, okay. This is what I'm going to start from. Erin, again, you know, this whole thing around, like, Erin keeps on saying, what the hell is this? No, I continue on judgment focus. I know the rules are ruled incorrectly. I always lose. Losing was a risk. That's how life goes. The thing, I didn't do half the shit that you and the half elf have done to myself. she called Chesh half elf. She's a goblin. Chesh is a goblin, not an half elf. Oh my god. I think so she does that on purpose because she thinks that it might like irk us. But I'm just like, who cares? Right? So when the judge used testimony about one thing and applied it to something else entirely, believing it to be something else entirely, then that's not even what was stated. Then when the judge ignored several times that the petitioner was impeached on the stand and still went with the lie as if proof of the lies was never presented to the court, and when the judge first made clear on the record that we could talk about things publicly, but then months later after the court ended for the day told us we couldn't even, though no motion or order regarding a gag order. Erin, restraining order means you have been restrained. So this whole thing about that the judge didn't tell, like, the judge, you know, this whole thing around what it says over here, right? The judge first made clear on the record that we could talk about things publicly, but then months later after court ended for the day told us we couldn't, even though it depends on several factors. I don't know what the judge said, so it's just your word. And your word is worthless, Erin. At this point, we know that whatever you say is a lie. We know that. So, what you're saying the judge said, it's just your word. Unless you have a transcript or something that you can present that where the judge said that, yeah, you can talk about this. And even if the judge said you can talk about this, clearly your conduct was not what the judge expected, and the judge was like, no, I'm not telling you to shut the fuck up. Just saying. Yeah. Intrigue feline from the live chat is asking, does she even know what impeachment is? I'm quite sure she does not know what impeachment is. Is that a reference to her calling Chesh a house elf? Probably. She started with me calling me a house elf. She called me Darby, you know, which is racist as hell because Darby was a slave. Everybody knows that. So she referred to me as slave, and then to hide that fact, she tried to attack me with my fat joke, right, to deflect from that fact. And then, yeah, you're right, Intrigued. I doubt she knows what impeachment means. She doesn't know what impeachment means. And also, like you said, Intrigue, that you have to actually show it, and uncontrovertibly so. Yeah, like, where did the judge say it? It's just her word. And her word is worthless if it's not, you know, backed by any proof or evidence. Simple as that. That's why I wanted to like talk about this, because she keeps trying to rewrite this history. The summary judgment clearly said, as she read on her own channel, that she is part of a mob who has been harassing Charla. And she was told that there's a restraining order. Restraining order included that, you know, she can't talk about Charla on social media. But Erin has been ignoring that order for the last 2.5 years. Right? And during that time, Charla has been quiet. And now suddenly Charla decided, okay, she doesn't want to stay quiet anymore, and she wants to, you know, she wants to, like, you know, put out all that has been this mob has been doing amongst themselves, like colluding and, you know, conspiring and trying to, you know, share details with each other that they're not supposed to. These people are now have escalated further, right? Athens from the live chat. United States doesn't know what impeachment is either. Trump is still president. Sure. Intrigue feline from the live chat said, and nowhere has the judge stated they could talk about anything. No, there's nowhere. The summary judgment said that they are restrained from talking about Charla, right? It's just Erin just saying whatever she wants to from her ass, right? And she then brought up this whole thing around, you know, oh, my free speech is being inhibited and all that stuff. And I said, listen, as I said here, if a free speech argument was compelling and material to the court's decision, you would normally expect it, you know, in the court order judgment, or to at least acknowledge it, especially where restrictions touch on conduct and speech. Either she didn't bring it up, or she brought it up and the court was like, it's not convincing, right? Either way, it's her fault that the court is not considering it. And then to bring it up afterwards is entirely something else. And here also, like, she just brings this whole thing, right? This whole thing, right? That wasn't a summary judgment either. It was a memorandum decision. You said it was a summary judgment when you read it, right? It referenced a trial, not just one argument, which is likely why when explaining the decision became known that the evidence used to help make said... Sorry, I didn't bring it up here. Here we go. Known evidence used to help make said decision was incorrectly applied to the wrong party. When mentioning 400 hours of content, it was assumed that 400 hours of alleged content was attributed to having made or encouraged by me, but during the trial that's not what was said or discussed even. It was alleged that 400 hours of content was made by supporters of the other party disparaging the respondent. That is what was being testified to by the other party. Not to mention, none of this 400 hours was ever submitted, yet it is specifically mentioned as being done by me or encouraged by me for the purposes of sharing solely about the petitioner. Upon the first reading this, I didn't even know what the judge was talking about. I had to go back through the transcripts to see what she was referring. Yeah, that's why you have a lawyer who can explain it to you, who explain it for you. If not, then of course you have to go back and, you know, you have to find out for yourself what the judge is referencing to. And yeah, referencing to the transcripts would be the first thing. It's not the duty of the judge to explain to you their decision. They can tell you what the thought process was, yes, but you not understanding it, it's not their duty to explain you their decision, right? And then she goes on to say, The judge incorrectly blamed me for harassment by mere mention of yours and Cheshire's and other like you 400 hours of streaming in support of petitioner by attacking myself and other respondents as being streams done or encouraged by me attacking petitioner. I'm happy to share the transcripts proving this. By all means, do. Please go for it. Share the, share it. Would love to see it. Right? Hold on, let me just. Where did it go? Sorry. Here we go. Share it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to correct this misinformation spread by you and others. This is literally all I ever wanted. Again, you're really litigating the case on social media, Erin, and the judges don't like that. Right? What you're trying to do is a precision sounding correction while sneaking in a bigger story. The court basically agreed with her but got confused and blamed her for other people's conduct. The rhetoric is so slick than the logic itself. Like, she's trying to say that the judge is stupid. That's what she's basically trying to say here. Yeah, no, I don't think so, Chesh, and I racked up 400 hours. I'm quite sure the 400 hours were collectively of the mob that the judge was referring to. Most probably. Renelle, Suzanne, Southern Mutton, Brittany, Steve himself, Erin, right? Nikki, Nicole Farron, Katie Parker, all these morons in together. And if I've counted, there are 8. And then Megan and Sean, 10, and then moderate extremists, 11. So yeah, amongst you 11 people who have their own channels, coming up with 400 hours of content, over 3 to 6 months, the way you talk and the so vitriolic you all are, I'm not going to be surprised if there are 400 hours amongst yourselves, right? And she's saying, oh, she's happy to share the transcripts, but nowhere I can see the transcripts here. Intrigue feline, I much very doubt that incredulity isn't a defense. That would be preposterous. And that will equal to 2 hours a week for over 2 years. Yeah, for 2 years, but this was the initial decision, if I'm not wrong. That was done within what, like 3 to 6 months of the initial filing. So yeah. So that's what I think where 400 hours came from. There are almost 11 of these YouTubers, and them collectively making content about Sharla. I'm not going to be surprised. So if you go like 11 by 40, like on average, how much? If I go with the 11, hold on, 400 divided by 11, right? So 36 hours over 3 to 6 months, right? So over 3 to 6 months, how many? You can say 24 weeks, right? So if I divide by that, so on average 1.5 hours from each channel over 3 to 6 months. Yeah, that's a that can be expected, and that is logical. Not from 2 creators, only Chesh and I. That's not how it works. Oh yeah, you are putting what 200 hours would be. Yeah, sure. Intrigued. So yeah, so what Erin is trying to do here, like, she's saying, oh, that wasn't summary judgment either. Summary judgment is a procedure, right? A way the court resolves a claim without full trial based on a genuine dispute or material fact. That's what it is. Memorandum decision is the format or style of decision or opinion, how the judge writes it up, often less formal or less presidential depending on the jurisdiction. So those 2 things are different. So Erin is again getting, she's trying to sound as an expert by but she's committing a categorical error over here. But she wants to, she's trying to dress it up as some sort of expertise, and she's getting that wrong too. Right? Also a 2 quote, obviously. So it can be a memorandum decision about a summary judgment motion, right? Or a memorandum decision after trial. To say that it wasn't a summary judgment, it was a memorandum is trying to you're trying to say like it wasn't a car, it was blue. They are not competing categories. Erin, you're stupid. Go get a lawyer. I have to explain this for you, that how stupid you are. That's why I wanted to cover, her tweets also, because she makes these like stupid, claims as if, or she tries to write this rhetoric or present such illogical rhetoric that you're just sitting there and you're just like, what? So again, my bad. A memorandum decision about a summary judgment motion. That's what it is. A summary judgment is a procedure. Memorandum decision is a format or style of decision. One is a procedure, one is a format or style. So, yeah. And this whole thing that she said here, right? She's like, what was it? Reference to trial. So over here on the second line, right? She said it referenced a trial, not just one argument, right? So, and then she goes, which is likely, why, when. So if you notice that phrasing, likely, yeah, that's a hedge that lets her imply certainty without committing to a falsifiable claim. It's speculative mind reading of the judge's reasoning. That's what she's trying to do, presented with the tone of a correction. She claims to know what the judge was thinking or what his, thought process, what their thought process was, and then she's trying to, put in a tone of correction there. Memorandums are additions. Yeah, memorandums are also additions. Yes. Right. Then she goes, which is likely why, when in explaining the decision, it becomes known that evidence used to make the said decision was incorrectly applied to the wrong party, right? So this is a very big claim on Erin's behalf, that she just slid in this big claim in there, that there was that a decision was made or evidence was applied incorrectly, right? Number one, I think so she says like, 400 hours of content or something, but what evidence specifically? And she read the summary judgment, where was it applied incorrectly or applied to the wrong party? Did the court find that as an error later, or is it just her interpretation? This is just her interpretation, right? And this is just a saying that was, she doesn't show where in her summary judgment where it was applied wrongly and how it was applied wrongly, right? If it was a correction, it would be an errata. Yeah. AMP network. Hi. A narcissist like Erin will always assume that people are like them, hence claiming the judge is corrupt. She went on to claim that the judge and Sharla were friends. That's what she went on to claim. Judges don't like it when you imply that they are not partial. If you thought that they were biased, then you should have asked the judge to recuse themselves and given a proper reason in the court, or put a motion forward in the court for the judge to recuse themselves. But you didn't do that. You're doing it after the fact because yeah. Saber Legal, I would be watching this stream if the fucking Edwards ever actually ended. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't know. Did I put in too many Edwards by any chance? I didn't touch the advertisements. I don't do that usually on Chesh's channel. I don't know what's going on there today. Maybe because it's holiday, so they have increased the frequency of Edwards there. Hi, Saber Legal, by the way. How you doing? So if the error is real and material, there should be a clean paper trail, an order, an amended finding, appellate commentary, something. Without that, it reads like post hoc reframing. That's what she is doing, right? The judge's negative conclusions aren't about me, they are misattributed. So when you made the appeal, why didn't you mention it in there? Did you mention it in there? So there are two things. Either you didn't mention it in your appeal, and if you did, the judge was like, no, that's not what happened. The judge disagreed with you. So this whole thing about that the 400 hours of content, whatever it was misattributed to you is wrong. You're wrong, Erin, by the sounds of it. Or you didn't put it in your appeal, which is, you are then stupid not to do that. That's not no one else's fault than you. But it's very convenient for you to now use it on social media to litigate your case on social media. Just saying. Erin and Little Lumo from the live chat, Erin and Co are so lucky that the law doesn't work in real time. Yeah, the law takes its time. I really hope all this, what is happening on Twitter now and on Erin's own channel, if I really hope one, Charlotte brings all this in front of a judge. And if she does, the judge realizes that any decision they take in favor of Charlotte will not stop this mob. This mob will escalate. And this will only stop if one of them or even all of them go to jail. I really hope it goes in that direction. Because they're not stopping. We are looking here. We're just looking at Erin's tweet here, right here, and what she's doing here. They escalate every time the court tries to resolve the issue. And tell the defendants to like stop, don't do that, or the respondents in this case to stop. They escalate further. Yeah, Hawkskill, the law cannot afford to work in real time, even with the bloated budgets they have in the US. It's yeah, it's sad. It's really, really sad, frustrating. Little Lumo, I'm making some really good walnut waffles, got coffee. Nice. Right? So Erin over here, she's assuming, like she's arguing that it was assumed the 400 hours were by her or encouraged by her. Then says that it was actually supporters of the other party. Then says none of this was ever submitted, but also says it's specifically mentioned as being done by her or encouraged by her. And then she produces this convenient like contradiction soup, right? It was never submitted. The judge could still rely on testimony, right? If credible or references, depending on the rules of evidence and the hearing context, someone might have said that this is what they saw. That can include Charlotte, right? And then not submitted does not mean that it wasn't considered, right? They can be like, oh yeah, I have this much of evidence, 400 hours, but the judge might have limited it and said, I'm not going to go through all the 400 hours. Give me the most, egregious examples or the most, in-depth examples. You can find 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, and I will go through those. That's how courts work, Erin. But you would have known that if you had a lawyer and if you were not stupid. Right? And then assumed is also vague. And again, she's trying to, do the mind reading here. I just did simple math, right? I just did simple math here, and I showed like how over 3 to 6 months, 400 hours, right, is very practical over 11 channels. And I listed out all the channels. Moderate Extremist was there at that time. Right? He deleted all the stuff, but he was there. He did do streams. Megan's channel, Sean's channel, Veda's channel, Erin, Renelle, Suzanne Titkemeyer, Down the Rabbit Hole or Katie Parker, Supernatural Crimes with Nikki, right? And then Southern Mutton, right? And then there was one more, if I'm not wrong. 11 channels. And there were other fringe channels also. Steve McRae, I forgot Steve McRae himself. 11 channels. And if you go with 11 channels, that's like attributing to 36 hours over 6 months to each channel. And that comes down to what? 1.5 hours each week per channel. That's not, illogical at all. They chose to. A little birdie told me that there are warrants of arrest out of for at least one of them. Intrigue Feline from the live chat said, well, the best option is for them to stay off the internet for a year or so, leave Shara alone. Second best is jail time, which is why Manya jumped the first option. Yeah, because they didn't shut up and they didn't leave Charla alone. So that's why I jumped to the second option, right? And that's what I keep saying. Every time the judge tries to resolve the issue by telling the respondents or the defenders to shut the fuck up about this person, they just escalate. They're like, nah, and they just escalate like children. Even children understand that if there are like legal repercussions, they need to shut the fuck up. The judge would have to watch Sean's streams multiple times and at less than half speed to understand him. Yeah, Athens, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. So yeah. This is all like rhetorical. This is a rhetorical move on Erin's part. She wants the audience to treat the 400 hours as phantom evidence, while also insisting she can prove the court misread it. And as I said, just because it wasn't submitted doesn't mean it wasn't considered. If Sharla's testimony is that there was 400 hours, this is some of the examples are here from the 400 hours because they just said, you know, I'm not going to go through all the 400 hours. Give me some of it. And that's what Sharla did. Now it's up to Erin and all the others to disprove Sharla's claim that there were 400 hours. They can ask Sharla, give us a list of all the 400 hours that you're claiming. But if you didn't, that's not Sharla's fault. That's your fault. Just saying. That's why you need to have lawyers, because the lawyers then go through everything. Because it's like finding a needle through a haystack. And then claiming, oh, later I saw this, later I saw that, I didn't even know that was this and that was that. Whose fault is that but yours? You took the quotes lightly. You didn't take this seriously, and you're paying the price. Intrigue feline from the live chat. Sean just needs to drop the persona act and talk normally. Whatever. He's pathetic. Hi, pretend fashionista. I see you are looking around. How you doing? Okay. Then, you know, in the same tweet, she's like, where is it? I didn't even know that part. She said here, right? Yeah, I didn't even know what the judge was talking about, right? So it's like, again, Erin's defense is, I'm so stupid. I'm so confused, I'm so stupid. That's her defense, right? And again, this also kind of like undermines her. If she didn't know, then the judge was seeing something in the record that either she missed or she didn't anticipate. That doesn't prove misapplication, it proves disconnect. Again, it's Erin's fault for not going through everything, for not taking the court seriously, for what Sharla was submitting seriously. Erin was on her channel sitting and asking her audience for help. She's so lazy. That's what she was doing. And when someone like me offered help, she made a mockery of it. Pretend fashionista from the live chat. Hi, I'm baffled that EKC is still going at Sharla like zip it. Any attorney would tell you that to shut it. Right? An intrigue feline from the live chat. Then she needs a lawyer. Exactly. You need a lawyer. If this is too much for you and you cannot connect to everything that's been presented in front of the courts, then you need a lawyer for you to sort it out. Or else that's your fault. That's not an excuse. Simple as that. Ay, Dios mío. Yeah, I know. Ay. I'm not wearing my dentures today because I've got an ulcer. I don't know why. What happened? I've got an ulcer inside my mouth. And if I wear my denture, it just pierces it badly. So you'll see my toothy smile today. So yeah. So if you don't know that it was even there, how do you know that it was misapplied? Number one, right? And number two, like that disconnect is your fault, nobody else's. The core framing here is that the judge blamed her for me and Cheshire's content, right? Which is, she's trying to be clever, but she slips logically so that it's blatant. That's what's happening. Athens from the live chat. Pretend fashionista Shala has an attorney, correct? She had an attorney, but I think so after a while she couldn't afford them, so she had to let them go. If I'm not wrong. Um, but yes, initially she did have a attorney. Yes. So did Renelle, but now she doesn't have an attorney. I wonder why. Maybe she also can't afford them. Maybe. The Athens from the live chat. Any lawyer worth their salt would do a Kyle's lawyer when presented with Erin's case. Yeah. No, it's not clever. It's logically very slippery. She tries. That's what I'm saying. She tries to be clever, but it's so slippery logically that it's blatant in your face, right? She's trying to distance herself from the harassment, categorization, reassigns, causal responsibility to other parties like Cheshire and me and others, while still claiming the court somehow tied it back to her as encouragement, right? So, simply pointing to other people does not automatically sever her own involvement if the court found a nexus, right? And this thing, like, what do you mean by that you didn't encourage others? You were in other people's live chats. If anyone who has read my statement has seen her in other, creators' live chats. So there's a nexus. There's a mob that's working together. And recently, with all the text messages that Shala has released that, Chesh covered previously, we can see they are all colluding together, conspiring together, sharing details that they are not supposed to share with each other. All their court cases are supposed to be sealed, according to Kansas law. So, yeah. Pretend fashionista from the live chat. Got it. I know it's expensive, but totally worth it, lol. I would be so intimidated to go up in court against an attorney. Yeah. Hawkskull from the live chat. Shala spent over 20,000 on lawyers' fees in all these cases just to get them to stop slandering her name all over the internet, and they still didn't stop, right? Pretend fashionista, what did Kyle's lawyer do? He dropped him. He told him like either he just dropped him. That's what he did. So then she also goes on to say, right, oh, I have transcripts, right? Over here she's like, oh, I'm happy to share the transcripts proving this. This is classic, like, proof by promise. We have never seen those transcripts from her side, right? Offering receipts is not the same as producing them, right? We know that. It's also a social move. It implies I have the facts, and if you don't accept her claim immediately, you look unreasonable, right? The correct standard is show the exact excerpts with context, explain how they support the claim. Otherwise, it's just theatrical evidence weaving. That's what it is. And this, whole closing around, oh, this is literally all I ever wanted. This is a moral halo. That's what she's doing. She's trying to recast herself as merely a victim of misinformation who only wants the truth and positions anyone disagreeing as someone who spreads lies, quote unquote, right? It's also inconsistent with her other behavior, right? When she does her public commentary on other people's cases, right? Body cams, filings, motions, right? But even without the broader context, it's an intent claim that doesn't resolve the factual dispute at all. Yeah, entry fee line from the live chat, and then I get back to my comment, too little, too late, demanding them to show evidence at this point would be enabling them. Yeah, that's true. So, my idea is right now is to show how they're trying to relitigate and rewrite history. Relitigate the case and rewrite history, trying to blame others for what they have done. Right? Yeah, that's what Kyle's lawyer found out. He was lying and dropped him like a turd after Taco Bell. Oh my god. Athens. So in short, she's mixing categories, right? a memorandum decision is a written format and not a substitute for underlying procedure like summary judgment. You know, if if she's claiming that the judge misapplied the evidence to the wrong party, then she should have mentioned that in her appeal. I don't know if she appealed. I don't remember if she appealed. Either she didn't put it in her appeal, then that's her fault. But again, she can still demonstrate it, but obviously she hasn't. So yeah. And as I have proven that from 11 channels, 400 hours over 3 to 6 months is logical. Not surprising at all. So yeah. Hawkskull from the live chat, Kyle's lawyer recused himself when either Kyle didn't pay or demanded his lawyer lie in court. We don't know the actual reason, but the reason cited covers those two most likely reasons. Yeah, Intrigue Feline, any appeal now would be far too late. Yeah, there's a timeline within a certain number of days or months within which you can appeal, and we are way past that. That should have been done in 2023 or 2024. We're now at the end of 2025. So, too late. And that's what the thing is. Erin knows she can't appeal. She has skipped her, contempt hearing. So she's now trying to relitigate her case on social media, trying to rewrite history, and at the same time re-victimizing Charla. And then she expects Charla to keep quiet. Right? So that's why I wanted to go through her tweets, because I'm like, we need to talk about this. This woman is relentless. She doesn't shut up, and she doesn't care about the law. Her own country's law. That she tells me oh, what do you know about my country's law, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I kind of know more about your country's law than I at least do some research, So yeah. So going further up, going back, Someone said, I will never understand you weirdos. The judge specifically told you and your fellow lolcows to stop talking, yet here you are mooing and spilling milk all over Twitter and YouTube. And Erin's like, we can discuss the decision. No, you cannot. You cannot discuss the decision. No. Especially if you start trying to, blame other people for the stuff you did. Intrigue Feline from the live chat, usually 30 or 60 days, that is for intention to file an appeal, and the 30 days after that as definitive deadline. Yeah. Athens Mania, can do, they can't read. Huh? What? Athens, what do you mean by that? Sorry, I didn't get it. Is that a joke? So she also tries to go with I'm responding to the ongoing harassment by friends of the other party. And I will what does this have to do with Charla? She's like, that's what I am wondering, why do you only want to discuss them? You never shut up about them, blah blah blah. And I'm like, again, you have a restraining order, Erin, not us. We don't. And then she's like, this woman missed a contempt hearing. Alright? And she's like, oh, where did I violate my order? What did I violate exactly? I'm like, you have a contempt hearing, you should know. It should be in that paperwork, telling you what you violated. Girl. And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Not my fault if you don't know what I'm talking about, Erin. Not my fault if you can't read. Right? And then she's again like, oh, the court knows why I didn't show up. Yeah, you made up a bullshit excuse. You made up a stupid bullshit excuse of why you didn't turn up. So yeah, going back to my notes. Here we go. Here we go. If I go back, that's December 16, 17. I want to. Which one was I? Yeah, she's just having a tantrum here again. She's trying to pretend that it isn't just about me though. Yeah, for me and Chesh, it's about you. So I don't know. Yeah, she's just trying to like drag Charlotte along with her, thinking that should, you know, that'll make Chesh and I to shut up. I'm like, nah, girl, it's about you. So we'll keep talking. Make us shut up. Fuck you. Yeah. This was a savage one from Padme the cat of Padme Returns, right? So Erin was like, here's a thought, there's a reason why these emails, messages, claims are being presented here on social media in the court of public opinion instead of court of law. This is great. This is like great coming from someone who has been putting out everything on social media except the court of law. Right? In past 2 years, that's all Erin has been doing, putting out everything on social media and not in front of the court of law. But now she's mad that someone else is doing that. The petitioner is doing that now. Now she's mad at that. You see, she has double standards, I guess. So yeah. So she goes on like, instead of the court of law, in a court of law, the opposing party can obtain subpoenas from email servers and the other parties. On social media, such things are not quite possible to obtain. Why is this the only evidence shared to Twitter when everything else was saved for court? And this, though it still would be lies, would appear damning if legit. Yet this wasn't saved for court. This was presented here on X. Allegedly, my opinion, whatever. What Charla said was that this is just 1% of what she has. Simple as that. And she's not presenting everything. The rest she has for court. Erin thinks that she's been clever here and she will force Charlotte to present everything here on Twitter. Like, Erin, no one is stupid like you are. Just saying. And how do you know that Charlotte didn't get a subpoena for your stuff, or someone who was involved with you, their stuff? Just saying. And Padme came back and said, well thought out, this must be why you win all your cases. And that was funny. That was so funny. That was so funny. So going back where I want to go. We did that anyone would have done. We'd have defended ourselves against the lies. But did you, though? You ended up making 400 hours of content about this lady. You needed 400 hours to, like, you know, defend yourself against one person who doesn't even have a channel or, you know, a YouTube channel? Really? Really? Share the blah 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 fault. I never spoke to your Debbie. I agree with this. Just think you shouldn't drag other party in your blind hatred for me. We don't hate you, Erin. We just pity you. Yeah, we just covered that. Okay, the next one. Yeah, this is the next one, right? This one. Ain't no one taking up the court's time. Every other month but her. Ain't no one posting private messages but her, even though we have some too. Every few months this happens, we all forget she exists, then she pops up to remind us, then gaslights us all into talking about her. Same pattern as smooth brain, dumb and D. Right? I guess she's, what would you kiss her? Yeah, Mummy Dooms. What are you talking about? Hi, yeah, Mummy Dooms. How you doing? So I guess with smooth brain, dumb and D, I don't know who she's talking about here, but See this manic posting 100. Oh, this is Katie's lawyer. She's also another vitriolic person, who Erin specifically tagged right after talking about her. If I'm not wrong, hold on. See, she specifically tagged Katie as a liar after like releasing whatever this is. And here we did see Katie as a liar going around and attacking Charlotte. I don't know about you, but encouraging looks like this is encouraging someone, isn't it? So if I go back at this tweet, right, this ain't no one's taking up the court's time and blah 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 blah. It's like it's a rhetorical Swiss Army knife. It sounds like an argument, and it's mostly vibe management. That's what it is. And what she's doing is poisoning the well. She's pre-bunking. Ain't no one's taking up the court's time every other month but her. She frames Charlotte as a chronic nuisance before anyone looks at anything that Charlotte has to present, right? And she's trying to prime her audience to dismiss anything that Charlotte says. We have receipts too, but refusing to show them. Ain't no one's posting private messages but her, even though we have some too. Why didn't you present them in front of the judge? Did you? Looks like they weren't substantial enough to be considered if you did. And if you did not, then you are being a vindictive bitch. You kept them with you on purpose so that you can use them on social media instead of in courts. Right? Twiddledee-dum and Twiddledee from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Oh, okay. Right? This is a classic argument by insinuation. Oh, we have receipts too, but we won't show them. Trust me, we could expose her, but we won't. This lets Erin claim moral high ground while still threatening the existence of dirt. She did that in the previous, where is it? Her previous tweet also. She did the same thing, right? This whole thing about the courts rule incorrectly. I didn't know what was there. Blah blah blah. Why wasn't it shown? It's the same thing, right? And then, so she's claiming moral high ground while she threatens that there's existence of this dirt, but it's also hedge, right? She gets the benefit of we have evidence without the burden of producing it. She did the same thing with the, what do you say? The transcript, right? She said, oh, I have the transcripts, I can produce them, but where are they? Why haven't you produced them? Yeah, Athens from the live chat said, pulling a Steve, we have got secret evidence we never presented. Exactly. What's the point of claiming you have secret evidence when you don't present it when the time comes? When will the time come, right? It's been 2.5 years. So yeah. And then there's this like Darwin there's a collective identity shield also that she's trying to use, right? We all forget she exists. Now it's not I am bothered, or it's like the group is unbothered, right? This is a social move. If you disagree, you are positioned outside the we, right? Oh, okay, I don't know who that account is. I have no idea who that account is. So yeah. And then there's also this Davos flip that she does, right? In this one tweet, this was all that's happening. Then she pops up, then gaslights us all into talking about her. Like the phrasing is turned into responding into victimization and turns her own participation into something done to her. Right? You chose to respond. Whose fault is that? If Erin quote, tweets, subtweets, streams, replies, etc., she's forced. She's choosing the engagement, not that she's forced. And she's trying to say that she's being forced into, something, when she's choosing to do it. And then also this like gaslights us all into doing unpaid This phrase gaslights us all. It's unpaid. It's doing unpaid labor here. It's in most online fights, gaslighting is used as a synonym for disagrees with me in a way I hate. If Erin means an actual pattern of reality denial and manipulation, she should point to specific claims and contradictions. But she's not doing that. She's just using it as a blanket terms with disagrees with me in a way I hate. That's all she's doing. Then she is dehumanizing. She's using dehumanizing labeling. That's what she's doing. Smooth brain, dumb, and D. Name calling is not an argument. It's a signal to the in-group. We are the smart ones. They are the clown ones. It's a status play, not evidence. Right? Yeah, Erin is gaslighting here herself. That's what she's doing. Yes. In the Enlightenment period, Erin would have died because she would be eating already proven to be poison mushrooms because someone told her they are not actually poisonous. Erin is like, science and what's true is whatever my chat says enough times. Yeah. Yeah. So Erin is complaining about a cycle that she is actively helping to power. That's what she's doing, right? If she truly wants to stop, she needs to stop. Simple as that. It's a boring solution, but that's what the solution is. Stop posting about it. But she does post about it because the conflict is content and social capital. That's the whole trick for her. Social capital. So yeah. And then there's another one here which says, Alice was a witness? When and against whom? If she was called as a witness for me, I might actually agree to attend court in person in Kansas again just to see that shit and cross-examine Alice. Sorry, cross-examine. Alice and one other person would compel me to show up in person. For your information, this is not a threat of any kind unless you find truth revealed on the record through cross-examination to be threatening. After cross, I would have no desire to interact again in person and would even go out of my way to avoid that shit. Did you though? After cross-examining, after you did your cross-examination of Chesh, did you avoid talking about her? You did not. You immediately went live and talked about Chesh after the court hearing. That's what you did. And you talked about her, and then you read excerpts from the transcript, if I'm not wrong, where Chesh's testimony was. So you're lying. You don't do that. And this is like, oh, now you would go to the court in person in Kansas. But you had the opportunity. You skipped it, by the sounds of it. You yourself said that you will skip it, and you skipped it. Why should you get another chance? Your incompetency to not being prepared and not turning up is not the court's responsibility. Lady Luma from the live chat, she's addicted to gaslighting herself. Her hobby is stressing herself out. Nah, her hobby is gaslighting herself. I don't know if she gets stressed out about it because she's in denial all the time. Right? What Erin is doing in this one tweet is she is performing bravado, laundering intimidation through I'm just pursuing the truth, and 3, building a preemptive excuse for why her own conduct is totally fine. Right? What's going on rhetorically is that I might, like when she says, oh, quote, I might just agree to attend just to see the shit and cross-examine, unquote. That's not a neutral commitment to due process. It's spectacles framing. Court as a stage, cross-examination as entertainment and domination. It signals I can hurt you with procedure while pretending it's just civic virtue, when she initially ran away from it. Like a coward. Now she's posturing and beating her chest, right? And this selective quote-unquote witness hype as credibility theater, right? She's like, Alice and one other person would compel me, quote unquote. This is target fixation. She isn't saying, quote, I'll attend because facts matter, unquote. She's saying, quote, I'll attend if these particular people appear, unquote. That reads like a personal vendetta wearing a legal costume, right? The classic, quote, not a threat unless, unquote, trap, right? Yeah, intrigued feline from the live chat. Also, no examination of witnesses would occur at this point. It is done and over for her. It is done and over. She missed it. Filing a frivolous motion after the fact does nothing. The court does not have to consider that motion at all. If it were filed on time before the hearing, the court might have considered it. But now, after the fact, come on. Right? So the classic not a threat unless trap, that's what she's doing here, right? For your, like she says here, for your information, this is not a threat of any kind unless, right? That's a rhetorical booby trap. That's what it is. It pre-frames any discomfort as irrational fear of truth. If anybody is like uncomfortable to be in her presence, right? For example, even Charlotte now, right? If Charlotte's like, I'm not comfortable, or even Chesh, if she says, I'm not comfortable in being her presence, I was supposed to be there for the contempt hearing, she skipped that. I'm not comfortable to be in her presence outside of that. She will go ahead and she will try and pre-frame it as, you know, irrational fear of truth, when it's not as such. Then she redefines intimidation as other person's guilty conscience. This is what is called Darvo, right? It's basically, if you react, you prove my narrative. That's what she's trying to do here. This is a cousin of I'm not yelling, you're just sensitive with the subpoenas. Then there's moral grandstanding that's happening here, right? Via the truth, unquote, on the record, right? She's trying to borrow the legitimacy of quotes, quote, on the record, unquote, to make her aggression sound noble. But the truth is not produced by vibes. It's produced by admissible evidence, credibility, and judicial findings, right? Cross-examination is a tool, not a halo. And you can fail during your cross-examinations also, because we know Erin failed in her cross-examination of Chesh because she was still, you know, given a restraining order. There was a restraining order against Erin in favor of Charla. So it's not a halo, or it's not something that tells that whether whatever you're doing is noble or not. Lady Lumo from the live chat. Trying to have a normal conversation with Erin in real life is probably like trying to outmaneuver a person trapped in the mind of an 8th grade bully that only knows confrontation and witch hunting. I doubt people argue with her about anything. I think so they just avoid her, in my opinion. They just let her do whatever she wants to. That's why she is here now, with a restraining order against her and skipping her contempt hearing. Because nobody bothers with her anymore. Because they're tired and they're exhausted. So yeah. Then she did the moral grandstanding of her, you know, somehow like if she's cross-examining someone, she's doing something noble when it's just aggression, right? And then cross-examination is a tool. It's not a halo of virtuosity. Lady Luma from the live chat. Erin is Sherlock Holmes. If Sherlock Holmes had a coconut drop on his head as a child, that made him dumber and less observant than a normal person, but he still thinks he's Sherlock Holmes. LOL. Oh my god. Alright. So, there's also the safety disclaimer, right? That doesn't actually undo any intimidation that she's trying to, like, project. Right? After cross, I would have no desire to interact again and would avoid that shit. We know that's not true. She talked about Chesh all the time. made these false claims without any proof that, Chesh has been banned from the courts, right? She's not allowed to be a witness when Chesh and I both were witnesses in Ronell's, restraining order case against her. And she claimed she read the transcript of Chesh's testimony in the court and all that stuff, right? So we know that's a lie. We know that's a lie. And this is meant to sound right or restrained. We know she's not going to do that. We know that. She didn't even practice restraint when Veda told her to, right? Veda, her friend, her supposed friend, who shared something with her in confidentiality. She said, this is confidential. Please don't give it to anyone. Don't share it with anyone else. And Erin, what did she do? Sabotaged Veda and shared it with Ronell. So we know these are just claims. She is not going to. She never practices any restraint. She doesn't have any restraint. If she had, she would have shut the fuck up at the first season just as she got 2.5 years ago. But yeah. Intrigue feline from the live chat, fucking Cheshire, right? So, this is meant to sound like she wants to practice restraint. She doesn't. We know from her past behavior she's never practiced restraint. But what she's also signaling is that I want a single high impact confrontation and then I'm out. That's exactly how intimidation can be packaged. One sharp performative moment, then plausible deniability, right? And then there's loaded language in there that tells us about the intent, right? See that shit, avoid that shit, right? That's contempt, not neutrality. Courts notice tone. Audiences also notice tone. Juries notice tone. And it undermines her pure truth-seeking posture that she's doing. The posturing that she's doing here. So yeah. Yeah, Little Umo from the live chat. Erin once said dictionaries are like proof. Yeah, she said that. And I'm just like, oh my god. This woman. So so here we go. This one. Let's have a look. Yeah, this one, this whole thing. Here, this thread here. So I had said like, I want my brain cells are wasted on this incompetent nincompoop bag because she was like, why would my argument of free speech be in the judge's summary motion? I didn't write that, so I didn't put it in there. Also, I never argued that I had a right to say things when I was never being accused of saying anything in particular. What? How about learn accurate information rather than whatever you've been told? And I was like, I want my brain cells back. I just spent my brain cells, talking to her and she just doesn't get it. Right? And she was like, you can't get back, that was never there to begin with, smooth brain. I'm just like, I'm not the one who keeps violating their harassment restraining order and committing contempt. Oh wait, I don't have any restraining order against me. And she's like, I'm responding to the ongoing harassment by friends of the other party. Why do you continue to want to discuss this? Don't have anything else to comment at me about? I'm like, what does anything have to do with Charla? And she's like, that's what I'm wondering. Why do you only want to discuss them? Them, I think she means Charla. Why do you want, you never shut up about them. You bring them up in every interaction with myself, Wolf, Meg, Steve, Ronell, Rabbit. It's like you just can't drink up enough about them, you thirsty bum. Like, for real, bro, if I give you something else to come at me about, will you fucking stop already? No. No. And I was like, again, you have a restraining order, not Chesh or I, not us, and you keep violating it, so it's obvious who's the smooth brain here, right? And Erin is like, yes, since you have no idea that what you're talking about, where did I violate? What did I violate exactly? Care to make your argument, or will you just continue to state things as if that's all that you need to do in the debate? I'm like, they just signed a contempt order against you. That's what I said to her, right? You should know. I thought you were a competent reader who could comprehend their own contempt order. My bad, I said. And she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Posturing or preposterous? Posturing. That's what I meant. um, and she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Again, she's like, I'm dumb. That's what her argument is, right? I haven't heard from the court outside of filing my motions. I have not seen any signed orders since 2024. Maybe there's a signed motion somewhere. I don't know. This is first I've heard of this. You said in your motion that there was you would send something about like you will get some signed warrants or contempt orders against you, and that you said, well, they weren't signed, so they weren't valid, so they shouldn't send them to me. When that's not how it works. Someone was communicating to you about what the court's next step will be, and you got pissed off that there are going to be warrants issued against you. Jessica Johnson, yeah, go ahead, Erin, give us another reason to dislike you, lol. And I replied to Erin, I was like, Erin, a contempt order was issued and signed against you. That is the reason a hearing was scheduled, which you acknowledge existed. That hearing would have been your opportunity to explain to the judge why you should not be found in contempt. You also stated that you did not attend it. The contempt order itself would outline the specific actions committed by you that the judge determined constituted contempt. Why are you so dense? I'm like, why are you so dense? And she's like, the court knows why I didn't show up. Yeah, we saw that stupid motion, so you're telling us that you actually filed that stupid thing. I couldn't believe myself, but okay, that's what she's claiming. They've also heard more from the two motions I filed since then. I think so. That's what she means. I've not seen any signed order for me. I haven't received anything either. You can say it all you want, but until if and when I'm served, you will continue to be wrong. I'm like, okay, suit yourself. And then she just had a whole fucking meltdown after that. Right? And I was like, you keep asking why the topic keeps coming up, and I'm telling you it is because it involves you. Simple as that. And she's like, why are we talking about the court shit? I'm like, because the court shit is about you. That's what I said. And it's like, it's not just about me though. I'm like, doesn't matter if it's not about you. That's what I told her. I'm like, I never said it's about you. It's just about you. It's about you, so we talk about you. And as you've said in the past that they're here, that you like it when people talk about you. And then she lost her shit. She's like, you literally just said because the court shit is about you, it's about me you wish to discuss. Unless, wait, do you want to discuss the other party? Did you guys have any other falling out? Don't bother answering. My DMs will tell me soon enough like last time. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you going on about? You literally just said because the court shit is about you. Yeah, because the court shit is about you. But I didn't say it's just about you. I said it's about you, okay, and I'm talking about it. So what's the fucking problem? And she's like, wait, do you want to discuss the other party? I'm like, where did I discuss the other party? I'm just saying it's about you, and you. Hi, unveiling, good morning. Okay, we have been here for an hour and 15 minutes, if I'm not wrong. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a quick break. And I'm gonna remake my cup of tea, right? And then give my throat some rest because this is ridiculous. And then I will break down this whole thread over here that we just went through. Yeah? We are going to skin the whole thing, right? I think so we will be just stuck with her tweets today by the looks of it. I don't know if I'll have the energy to go through her fucking stream. Maybe we'll do it for another day. Intrigued feline from the live chat. Sounds like birdies be telling me the tea. Alright, cool. Give me 5 minutes. I'll just go and make some more tea for myself and give myself some rest. In the meanwhile, what we can do is... Hold on. Let me see. You know what we can do? I know what we can do. Let's see. I know what we can do. Let's see. This one. Nope. Okay. Where are you? Where are you? Um, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. This one. This one. Let's watch this one. Nah, actually no, because this might not come under fair use. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. White Mary Jazz in the background. Tea time. Yeah, tea times. Watch compilations of kittens. Yeah, could do that, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here. Chill Monday. This one. Yeah, this one. We'll watch this one. This should be good. Okay. Well, I'm off for lunch. Take care, Intrigue. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, quiet Mario Jazz music in the background. Yeah, Chesh gave me that music. She was like, yeah, don't play copyrighted music in the background. I was like, okay, sure. Alright, you guys listen to this and I'll be back. I'll mute my mic.
Called collusion, inception, destruction of evidence. I mean, Veda seems to know it's illegal. Named the group? Yeah, the group got named. Brittany and Veda are the same person, I believe. I think she just changed her dropdown. Winding Land for 10 says, I demand bun. Okay. Alright, bunny suit will happen later today. Congratulations. I hope you're proud of yourselves. And I hope you don't regret this decision. Change the group photo, remove the group, left the group. Yeah, and it says Brittany something the group. Named. I think it says named. Named, I think is what that is. Brittany named the group. Need snacks for this? I think I have some popcorn for later. If I didn't have to read so much, I would have popcorn. So that's illegal. If you get a subpoena and you fucking delete the thing you're supposed to, that's being subpoenaed. Yeah, I found my glasses. I threw them. They ended up like the other side of the room. I'm skipping over this like stuff she's retweeting here. I'm trying to stick to the evidence. So let's. Oh, this is gonna be audio. So let's give this a play.
About this, I know you do not believe the Balls account is Katie Joy whatsoever, and that's fine. But I worry because you have sort of like this innocence, naivete to people like with Cheshire and Manya. I mean, that was a walking red flag, and you walked into it innocently, couldn't see what was going on, and you know Charlotte's going back and forth with you in the chat, and you don't even know it's her. And I just worry that you're doing the same thing with Balls. I was shocked when I figured out who Balls was. And I know that everybody was saying that Tabitha, you know, went down to the courthouse, got the motion, sent it to Balls, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what happened in the middle of my case. I'm telling you, that's not what happened. Just please be careful with that account. I'm begging you.
So that's Veda, presumably talking to Down the Rabbit Hole at bedtime. I guess calling Rabbit naive for thinking she could swing into my chat on my YouTube channel and just start hurling accusations at people and expect people are gonna believe what she has to say. And I mean, Veda's right. That is an incredibly naive and arrogant thing to say. You fool. I don't care who you are, where you're from, don't care how many subs, you're still full of bullshit. Alright, so that's Veda also concern trolling Katie Parker, which is Down the Rabbit Hole at Bedtime. Down the Rabbit Hole at Bedtime also, by the way, changed her YouTube channel. It's now Rabbit in the Closet, which, given how much she changed it a little while ago. I believe it was when she, fled the country, basically, from this shit. She got a job in another country or something and left or some whatever. She posted about it. It's not a surprise. It shouldn't be, like, weird to anybody. But also, like, at the same time, this is what I mean by, like, maybe we can count that Rabbit doesn't have any of this stuff against her, but she also, like, left the country, and how difficult would it have been to try to maintain, even though she is clearly still participating in all of the harassment, how difficult would it have been to try to maintain an ongoing lawsuit and litigation when she, like, dipped out of the country, right? Spectrum Spoonie for £5 says hashtag bunny suit fund. Yeah, it is the bunny suit fund. On Monday I'll put the thing back up and we can do it again. Let's see if there's more. Okay, keep going. Oh god, what is this? Oh no. Oh dear, what are we looking at? Oh no. Is there audio with this? Is this just... Okay, so this is them.
Fixed it.
Oh no. Okay. So this is protection from stalking order versus Megan that was shared in their group chat, and this is the screenshots of, wait, is this affidavit?
Sorry, I'm still making my tea. I decided to change into something more comfy. Because I'm like, if I'm gonna stay here for a while, I might get out of my formals, So, just waiting on my tea to get done in the microwave. So, almost there. Okay, maybe that's enough. Yeah, that should be enough. Hopefully. Here we go. Going back, right? So as I said, let's break it down. Let's break it down. That was fixed it, was it? Lady Lumu, sorry about that. I'd muted the desktop audio because didn't need it, and then kind of helped me figure out my background music and stuff. So yeah. Okay, so going back. So what Erin is doing in all this, right? In this whole thread, if I break it down, it's this is all like rhetorical dodgecraft, if I might say. Erin keeps sliding between quote unquote she's confused, innocent, and shot dumb, to injured victim, to aggressive prosecutor, depending on which costume is helping her, to avoid one boring adult requirement of public claims, that is consistency. Right? She's not consistent in this whole thread. What she's doing is she's moving the goalpost to service as a magic shield, right? She's like, you can say it all you want, but until if and when I'm served, you will continue to be wrong. Step one is what if we ignore all the underlying facts, this is a classic procedural escape hatch, right? She's denying awareness, claiming the court knows without showing it. Insists nothing counts unless you are personally served. It's basically if it didn't reach my eyeballs via certified email, it doesn't exist. That's the same argument that Sean used. He's like, I never saw that, so it means it doesn't exist. The restraining order, the lifetime one, that's against him, right? That's the same thing that Sean did. And I'm just surprised that Erin has started, her thinking has evolved so like downwards that it's gone to the level of Sean's thinking. If you haven't seen it, it doesn't exist, right? This is plausible deniability plus endless delay. That's what this is. And the court knows assertion, right? With zero receipts. There's no receipt that her motion has been accepted, or she has submitted 2 more motions or anything like that, or that they have been accepted or filed. There's nothing. We don't know. It's just her claim, right? This is just unsupported appeal to authority, while refusing to provide the authority's actual words, right? Order, notices, docket entries, anything. It's just a vibe statement, again, meant to sound like, verification, when it's not. And then instant Darvo when you disengage, right? I'm like, okay, suit yourself. She's like, she flips this whole thing into like, suit myself? Like, I'm asking for this? Why are you always talking about me? Threaten me some more? Right? It's like classic Darvo. I disengaged politely, and she reframes it as if I'm blaming her, threatening her, and prosecuting her. And then she demands that I defend myself against a claim that she invented, right? And then she weaponizes misreading or deliberate literalism, right? She pretends, quote unquote, suit yourself is equal to you put the suit on yourself, lawsuit pun. I think so, maybe that's what she's trying to achieve here. That's not confusion, that's strategic misinterpretation, taking a common phrase, pretend it's an accusation, then act injured. That's what she did. Athens from the live chat. Like Sean denying he was served since he never answered the door and touched or saw the papers. Yeah, or that because the papers were left in his mail, that it was some sort of federal law that was violated. Which, that's not how it works. Summons and other things, service papers can be left in your email, in your mailbox. You fucking idiot, because they're addressed to you. But of course, that's Sean for you. You can try. That's a classic of relitigation of case on social media. Then what, like, Erin did was that I politely disengaged, and she just flipped it into something like, I did to injure her, as if I accused her or something when it wasn't, right? The purpose, what she was trying to do was she was trying to force me into explaining basic English language to her while she was dodging the original topic. I'm like, I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to waste my time. So then she goes with like ad hominem and ableist and ageist vibe shot, right? Is it sundown where you are at? Like, quote unquote, that's what she says, isn't it? If I have a look at it. Where is it? Here it is, right? Is it sundown where you are at? It's like, I do, but besides the point, you aren't talking about people talking about me. Do you realize what's going on again? Is it sundown where you're at, right? And it's like it's a cheap insinuation about cognitive impairment. It's not an argument, it's character attack dressed as a joke. When she's the one who's known to consume drugs and alcohol, so it's rich coming from her, if I might dare say. And then there's this, the red herring, right? She says that, but the other party doesn't want publicity. She says discussing court stuff harms the other person's privacy while she's literally running a court case themed account and tweeting about it, right? This is selective privacy concern. Privacy as a shield only when it blocks criticism of her, right? She should be allowed to say anything she wants about that person, violating their privacy. But if I mention something, it's definitely violating their privacy according to her, and I shouldn't be allowed to speak because of that. But she can keep doing that. She's an exception to that rule for some reason. Little Lumo from the live chat, the papers that I was served, the papers that I was served, the papers that I was served. I work better when it's dark out. Many people do. Yeah, sure. So, it's a red herring, right? The privacy concern. Suddenly she's concerned about other parties' privacy while she has been relitigating a case and, making claims about Charla, saying that she's working with Katie Joy and all that stuff, right? On her own Twitter account and on her own channel. But if someone else points her behavior, she uses Charla's privacy as a shield to deflect the criticism, right? Then the line of, I even offered you other shit to come at me about, right? So she's like, I encourage you to continue to speak about me, even to me, but find it so weird how you just want to talk about the other party, right? She's like, and it's like, that is very telling, right? Unbelievably telling. She's framing this whole thing as content combat, right? Not like truth seeking. She's inviting attacks on herself by complaining you discussed the case. It's contradiction as a lifestyle. And then there's manufactured conspiracy plus DM insinuation. My DMs will tell me soon enough, like last time. That's innuendo bait, implying you and the other party are plotting, claims secret evidence exists, refusing to show it, pressures you into socially without committed to a verifiable claim. I'm just like, what are you talking about here? I have no fucking clue. Right? Like, give us a docket entry that you're relying on, or else it's just like you and your word and it's nothing. It's nothing. So yeah. Then she tagged Katie as a liar. That's another account that goes after Charla. Chesh and I also. And is a Nazi. Just saying. And then she's replying to this is Megan, if I'm not wrong. Let me see if I can find out what she's replying to Megan about. Give me 1 second, if I can. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me see if I can figure out what she's replying to. Let's see. Actually, not here. We'll go here. Yep, here we go. it? Yeah, here we go. Found it. Found it. There we go. Beautiful. Exactly. Beautiful. Beautiful. I am so good at this. I knew I had it somewhere. Also, someone doesn't know how time zones work. So, yeah, that's another thing. Here we go. Going back. Going back. What the hell? Ah, here we go. Found it. Back. Back. Here we go. Oh, Erin said, I love the smell of streams about me in the morning, but damn 5 a.m. What in the deflection is that? Erin, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? What in the deflection is that? Okay, also, time zones exist. Just because it's 5 a.m. at your place doesn't mean it's 5 a.m. at my place. See? It's not 5 a.m. at my place. Just saying. Just saying. Oh god, she's so stupid. Why is she so stupid? Oh god. Holy shit, she's so stupid. Okay, where's the one that I was looking at? Where she was like replying. Ah, yeah, this is the one. And I have the screenshot for it. There we go. Let's have a look. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Come on, where are you? Did I save it or not? God damn it, Mania. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? This one? Nope. Nope. Oh dear lord. Where did I save you? Aww. What did I do? Mania! What did you do, girl? I lost it. Shit. I do that to myself all the time. Is it in here? Are you in here? I don't think so. No, you're not in here. Mania, what did you do, girl? Athens, Erin, don't you know deflectionism? I think Mania is 13 hours ahead of me. Yeah, she doesn't know what time zones. She has done that before also. She has no idea how time zones work. She's an idiot. She's a fucking idiot. What does she mean by deflectionism? That is so stupid. Do I have to look for that screenshot again? Really? Really? Mania! Ah! No! God damn it, I have to look for that screenshot again. Sorry guys, give me a sec. Sorry, my bad. God damn. Mania. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Found it again. Mania. Here we go. Whew. I do that to myself, don't I? Always. We're gonna share it. We're gonna save it to a proper place. That's what we're gonna do. There we go. Let's see now if we can find it. Yep, found it. Brilliant. And now we go back. Aive, mania. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, here we go. Found it. I'll just find it. I knew I had it. So, Megan is saying, yep, see, she said she wasn't upset about her million messages she sent to you back then, but she was mad the second she didn't get an answer back from you. I tried to tell her not to take it personally, and you were probably just busy. She wigged out over it. She would do that to all of us if we didn't answer back. It's insane. That's just what you are saying, Megan. There's no proof of it, number one, right? And Erin's like, and this is what the last time she lashed out to me for not giving her time and attention. The first time she said it was okay for me if I didn't want to respond. The second time she threatened to report me to PayPal for not talking to her, and this here was the last time, and we all know how it turned out. Exactly, I remember her also coming to your chat throwing a fit over you not responding to her. It's crazy. It's not normal to get upset like this. Where is that proof that she came to Erin's chat to throw a fit? Any proof? And this whole thing about that she would report you to PayPal, we know that, and Sharla clarified it, that it was her first time sending a super chat, and she didn't know whether, and she used PayPal to send it, and she didn't know whether it reached you or not. So she was like, if it didn't reach you, she will just, you know, she will dispute it with PayPal. That's what the whole thing was, and you just twisted it into something else. Erin, you bitch. And I would believe Sharla because she's the one who has been able to get a restraining order against you and has a proof and presented proof in court against you rather than you. I'm just saying. Your word is nothing, and we know you lie. So, yeah. We'll talk about this also. Blah blah blah. She's talking to Sean here, we can see, and she's responding to Katie as a liar. So, right, she encourages these accounts to harass Sharla, spread things up, you know, lies about Sharla, and then she's like, why do I have a restraining order against me? Wasn't it 6 a.m. her time when she fell asleep streaming? Yeah, she fell asleep. And she sat telling me, she doesn't know what time zones are, number one, right? She has no clue what time zones are. She thinks it's only America and nowhere else. She's so stupid. And the fact that she had to tweet about it tells me that she's bothered by it. So, I guess job well done, eh? So going back, right? Here we go. Okay, we'll get rid of this. Going back to my notes. Yeah, so this was the one we were talking about, right? And this is what she was responding to. Here we are. So if we dissect this whole thing, right, where she's talking to Megan and all, right? And Megan can keep wondering where I'm getting the screenshots from. She'll never know. So, yeah, that's what I was like with unveiling. Yeah, it's the thing with Erin, right? She's quick to like try and shame people for the same mistakes that she makes, and it's like, okay, I don't have to say anything, just so blatantly obvious. So yeah, okay, so Um, so if we, I'm gonna get in my comfortable position here, comfy position. Brilliant. Ugh, give my legs some rest. So, what Erin's tweet is doing here, right? She's talking about Charlotte, obviously. And then she's like, where did I violate the order? And we are like, yeah, you are. so, she's this is not an argument, it's like a story. She's telling a story, and that is formatted to preload your emotions so you stop asking for evidence. Right? That's what she's trying to do. What she's trying to establish without proving is she's like, oh, this was just like last time she lashed out at me for not giving her time and attention, right? This is motive attribution. She wanted attention. Right? She's saying she somehow knows. So this is motive attribution dressed up as certainty. It asks the audience to accept a mind-reading claim as a fact. That's what she's doing. Conveniently, it also reframes everything as petty interpersonal drama instead of whatever the actual dispute was. Right? It's also a diminishment move. Quote unquote just plus time and attention makes other party look like childish by default. And the staged escalation narrative. The first time, the second time, and then and here was the last time. This is the classic three-beat storytelling. It's persuasive because it feels orderly and inevitable, but it's not evidence. If we notice what's missing is it's dates, screenshots, exact wording, any corroboration, what Erin said did in each step. What did she do about it? Right? The first time she said it was okay, this is a soft setup. Sharla is framed as fine at first so that later anger looks irrational. Right? But without the actual message, it's unfalsifiable. It's also a common selective quotation tactic. Summarize the nicest interpretation of the first interaction, then summarize the ugliest interpretation of the next ones. She's like, she threatened to report me to PayPal. This is a loaded verb. Threaten, doing all the work. Right? Reporting someone to a platform processor might be legitimate complaint behavior, manipulative leverage, or something in between. But Erin scripts the content and goes straight to the moral label. That's conclusion smuggling. That's what she's doing here. If she has the messages, the clean move is to quote them. If she won't, then she's asking the audience to treat her characterization as the primary source. Like, so she's talking to someone else. She's not talking to Erin here. And it's like, and it just talks about being on some account or on some page. And this is just like, if Erin got hard to get hold of, I've sent her a few messages about important things I need to talk to her about in that group, and she's just ignored me for 2 days. And we saw that from the previous messages that Charlotte released, that Erin had promised to talk to Charlotte and then ghosted her. Rinell also did the same thing. They promised Charlotte and then they would ghost her. And they know that Charlotte suffers from anxiety. What would it do to that person? They don't care. They just do this performative thing that they care about people, but when it actually comes to following through, they don't do it. And again, this whole PayPal claim, as I said, it could be a legitimate complaint behavior. We know that. Charla explained it to us on her Twitter that it was the first time her using PayPal to make a super chat, and she wasn't sure whether it worked or not. And she asked Erin that, do you think it worked or not? Can you please confirm, or else, I will dispute it with PayPal. But Erin twisted it into something like that she was using it as a threat. Which is like, what? And then she's also like, oh, we all know how this turned out, right? This is an appeal to shared assumption. It tries to end debate by implying that the conclusion is already common knowledge, which also subtly pressures the audience, disagreeing will make you out of the loop or dishonest, right? It's also a dodge. When the ending is vague, right, she can let each listener fill in whatever ending they already believe. And there's the hidden frame in it also. This is all about me, quote unquote. The whole thing positions Erin as the central object. Charlotte's actions are explained as reactions to Erin not giving attention. That's rhetorically useful because it converts a dispute into a personality story where Erin automatically is like, she gets the reasonable boundary setter role, right? When it's not like that. We know that. The Athens from the live chat said, we care about our people, but fuck you people individually. Yeah, that's what their attitude is. That's what Renel's attitude is also. They say, oh, I care about you, but when it actually comes to follow through, Renel's like, am I your mother? What do you think am I doing? Do you think I'm here all day to like listen to you? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, but you said you cared. Then why say you cared? Then why not set those, boundaries in advance? You didn't do that. You invited that person. You said, oh yeah, I'm always here for you to listen to you and blah, blah, blah. And when that person becomes dependent on you, then you suddenly pull the rug from under them and then, claim that they are harassing you. Every fucking time. This is just a preferred narrative that Erin wants to throw out there without anything to back it up. She's just like posted these like random things. Like where Charlotte is being very reasonable, where Charlotte said, okay, it's important, but yeah, whatever, right? And they're trying to, just say bullshit out of thin air. Like, she's just trying to explain herself. Like, Veda thinks I'm upset with Erin because I wanted to interview Sue. Where the hell is that coming from? There's pretty much nothing I would less rather do than be on camera. She is explaining herself. She's like, where is this narrative coming from? I don't get it. So what is your take on why Erin ghosted the Facebook group tonight? She's asking questions. She's confused. And Erin has, as we know, we saw Erin wasn't answering her. Like, have some decency to reply to a person if you made a commitment with them. But of course, this is Erin and Renel and all this lot. All they do is like expect. That's it. They have this entitlement around them. Maybe because they think they're YouTubers, maybe that's why, Not the curry powder lady. Oh, don't get me started on that, seriously. So yeah, we go on to the next one. This whole thing, I'm not looking to look like anything, I'm just providing the truth. What's the point of doing it here? Unless you want to harass Charlotte. You should have presented the truth in the court. That's what this person is asking. Why court if everyone wants to use the court of public opinion? Quite frankly, as an outside observer, this is patently insane from both sides. Grow up and move on. Neither side looks good, to be fair. I'll disagree with them with a little bit, but about Charlotte's side, she has been quiet till this last few weeks. Charlotte had been quiet. This lot kept going, but as I said, they are an outsider, so yeah. And then this person is right. I didn't mention how you look. You wanted to be done and move on. So the question is, why aren't you? You're arguing a point I didn't make. And Erin has no reply for them. I wonder why. And then she's like, oh, rules for thee and not for me. And I'm like, girl, you are the one who has a restraining order, not me. And then you're tagging other accounts like Katie is a liar who are abusive. I'm like, right? You're right. The rules are different for you and me. You are under a restraining order. I am not. So yeah, there are different rules for you and me. So Erin doesn't even know how to apply this, this saying, rules for thee and not for me, correctly. And that's the same account we were looking at before. They had said, I don't care about neither. I have no responsibility as an outside observer to see anything outside of both sides' claim to want to end, but do not just control themselves to end it. And then Erin's like, look, I don't care if you approve of shit. I'm not trying to win anyone over here. That's what you're trying to do. That's why it matters to you. That's why you are again and again putting stuff out here. If it doesn't matter to you how you look to anyone, why are you talking about this at all? Why does the truth matter to you if it doesn't matter how you look? Or your truth, if I might say. She's like, I'm just correcting info spread about me. That's false. So you do care. And you're trying to win people because you think your image matters. And then she's like, read it or don't, care or not, I get it, but I'm still going to correct lies, especially when the lies harm me in any way. So you are trying to look good here, according to you. And how are they harming you? We don't know. You have not given us anything in any way. How are they harming you? And what are the lies? It's a rhetorical two-step. That's what I was looking for when I was looking into it, like, how do you describe this? What's going on? Right? It's performing indifference while also demanding the audience to treat her as the authoritative fixer of reality. I don't give a shit, but, I'll tell the truth. Right? The I don't care shield. Right? It's a preemptive armor plate. It tries to make any pushback look like you are merely withholding approval rather than challenging the accuracy. Right? It reframes disagreement as social judgment, not factual dispute. Very conveniently. It also sets up a trap. If you respond, she can say, see, you just want me to care what you think. If you don't respond, she gets the last word. Heads, she wins. Tails, you don't get to play. The quote-unquote not trying to win anyone over not trying to win anyone over credibility hack, right? I'm not trying to win anyone over. This is the classic I'm not persuading you persuasion move. The subtext is, because I'm not trying to convince you, I must be honest. That does not follow. Plenty of people are not trying to convince anyone but are still wrong, sloppy, or manipulative. For example, Alex Jones. Right? The quote-unquote just correcting the info minimizer. I'm just correcting info spread about me. That's false. Just is doing a lot of work. She's minimizing the act while claiming the authority to define what is false. The key missing piece is method. What is the claim? What is the evidence? What is the standard for correction? What gets retracted if she is wrong? Does she retract when she is wrong? She never does that. Without a method, correcting lies can mean relabeling criticism as misinformation. Or withholding approval. Right? And the big move is redefining disagreements as lies. But I'm still going to correct the lies, especially when the lies harm me. This is where the rhetoric becomes high impact. She's not saying mistakes or misunderstandings, she's saying lies, which implies intent to deceive. So what she's doing is she's making a very powerful moral accusation, and it conveniently does two things, right? Paints critics as malicious, not mistaken. Makes a rebuttal morally necessary rather than merely preferred. But if she's calling something a lie, she should be able to show the exact statement, why it's false, why it's knowingly false, if she's claiming lie rather than error. He's doing intent laundering, upgrading I disagree into their lying without meeting the burden. Jessica Johnson, she might be worse than Alex Jones. She might not know that what she's doing. Yeah, I can see your point. I can see your point, Jessica. If she doesn't truly care whether anyone reads it, then you don't have to write the tweet in the first place. This is image management pretending to be fact-checking. That's what she's doing it. Yeah. Yeah. So, moving on. If we go, she's like, prove it. Prove what? I'm just like, you tagged abusive accounts. And you think, you would know that is not allowed under your restraining order and contempt charges. That's encouraging harassment, like you said that your order was saying. It's so stupid. My God. So Twitter lady Willow is like, this is what happens when people support Charla. We are her friends. We know her. We don't know the person who seems like nothing but a drunken sock who can't finish a comment. And then Erin's like coming and defending Katie, who's attacking people who are defending Charla. No, this is what happens when you lie on people and harass them. Other people see this and want to see it stop. I'm sorry, but we have people who care and speak up for your shit to end. I forget that we aren't entitled to that. Like, so when her supporters talk, it's like people want it to see this and want to stop it, but if Chesh and I talk, then it's like it's harassment. It's like such a two-faced, like double standard, right? This is the main one that I want to talk about, right? So here, like we saw, Katie is a liar. This account, vitriolic, cannot finish the sentences, but are attacking people who are supporting Charla, right? Who are not under any restraining order. Katie is a liar, is also not under restraining order. That's why Erin tagged her, right? That's why we know she tagged her, because we know that she can bring someone in on her behalf to support her who's not under restraining order. So this is spreading of harassment against Charla, right? So over here it's like, in what would their non-stop posting about this be expected to help the situation? I don't know, Erin, you tell me what you're posting non-stop for last 2.5 years and doing the stream about this has helped the situation. Now suddenly you want to help the situation, but for last 2.5 years when you were streaming and you were tweeting about this, were you trying to help the situation? No, you weren't. But now you're suddenly concerned that people, like, whether what others say helps the situation or not. Right? It doesn't involve them. Why do they keep inserting themselves and causing discourse? It doesn't involve Katie. Why is she inserting herself in there? Or themselves in there? That could be applied to anyone else, right? Why do they keep up this fighting? You are the one who has been going on about it for the last 2.5 years. On your channel, on your Twitter account. This is gang stalking, now this is Darvo coming into play. They will not leave any of us alone, right? They keep contacting people, Porkchop Manias, the Red Shoe account, Chesh, the other party, Mandy, Sue and Will, and the other party, etc. And then Katie is a liar. Why would they not tell Charla to stop? Charla is not under a restraining order. You're blaming the victim here. None of them give a F about her. It's completely obvious this chick needs psych help. Oh yeah, now you're an expert, aren't you? Katie is a liar. You definitely are an expert. She also needs to hear this from the courts. But the courts are not agreeing with you on this, I'm afraid. Katie is a liar. Aren't any of them paying... Are any of them paying for legal bills? They are using this psycho to go after other ones they hate. And then Erin conveniently replies, they want to see people pushed into depression and self-harm. This bitch said she doesn't care if I have depression or anxiety. But now she cares about depression and self-harm. When this cunt was the one who said that she doesn't care about if I have depression or anxiety. She doesn't care if Sean calls me Mayo Hussein. She doesn't care when she made that fraudulent, defrauding GoFundMe, false claim against me. But now suddenly she cares. They want to tell people they can't go online. We are not the ones telling that. The courts are telling you that. And it's not just that you can't go online. You can't go online about one person and you just can't take that. It's an orchestrated effort. We are not the ones that were caught in a group chat, dude. You were the one who were caught in a group chat. Sharing information, court information that you're not supposed to share amongst each other. Just saying. So, yeah. No one has bothered this person in over 2 years. Are you fucking kidding me, Erin? If you go to your channel, I'm quite sure we can find stuff on your channel where you have talked about Charla. Over the last 2 years. Hold on. What the fuck is this? My story, I won't be silenced anymore. This one. What is this? Right? And this one. Like, you talk about this all the time. Hold on. If we go back here, you said 2 years. Need for boundaries with parasocial relationships on YouTube. Receipt, that's about Kathy. Let's try the will she ever stop addressing idiots second try. What is this? Mocking and ridiculing recent streams. This is a 7M1 if I'm not wrong, isn't it? Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Talking current events and correcting some lies told. So, here we go. Here we go. What are you talking about? This was when? This was 3 months ago. September. What are you talking about? Here we go. Reverend Ruin, taboo talk pics and all these morons. That was 5 months ago. Right? So what are you talking about? Like, you keep pretending that you don't talk about these people when you do. I don't know what. Hold on. Oh, this one. But yeah, I showed you. There are 3 examples already that she's talking about. Right? Here we go. 8 months ago. Right? Like, I'm just saying. You've been talking about this all the time. So, and you lie. Fucking lie on the drop of the hat. So yeah. And then Katie's a liar. Why all of a sudden she unlocks her fucking profile and all this stuff. And look, oh, Sean is here. Right? Jessica Johnson. Sorry, unveiling from the live chat. She read freaking sealed court documents on stream. Such a liar. Yeah, she did. And then Jessica Johnson. This background music makes me want to play Fallout New Vegas. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So yeah, so breaking down this thread, Jessica Johnson from the live chat, I mean, Chesh has been basically documenting her contempt. Yeah, that's what we have been doing, and this is also part of that, right? This is still contempt. This is still contempt, and Erin just doesn't want to get it, right? So, so the last line is doing Erin the rhetorical equivalent of flipping the table because she's losing the argument on the actual table. That's what she's doing, right? This whole thing about she and Katie are building a villain collage out of names, vibes, and a spooky phrase, gang stalking, right? That phrase is doing a lot of work for them because it's basically a magic spell that means everyone I dislike is coordinated, any criticism is harassment, any attention is proof, any lack of attention is also proof because it is orchestrated, right? It is unfalsifiable frame. The unfalsifiable frame are where truth goes to die. Right? What is rhetorically wrong with what Erin said is that she's claiming that she can read minds plus motive laundering. Again, she does that a lot. They want to see people pushed into depression and self-harm. This is a huge claim about someone's intent, right? To make the claim responsibly, she would need direct evidence, explicit messages encouraging self-harm or something like that. Otherwise, this is just mind reading dressed up as moral certainty. That's what it is. Also, it's very convenient upgrade. Instead of people criticizing me, it becomes people want me dead, quote unquote. Which is like, fuck my life, where the fuck did that come from? That's not an argumentation, that's emotional escalation as a shield. That's what she does all the time. Poisoning the well, once she asserts that they want self-harm, she makes it socially taboo to disagree with her because now disagreement looks like siding with monsters, right? Ooh. Also, there's a lot of this is not a truth-seeking move. This is crowd control move. That's what this is. And then conspiracy packaging. It's an orchestrated effort. It's gang stalking, quote unquote. That's a narrative that explains everything and proves nothing. Orchestrated implies coordination. She doesn't present any coordination evidence, but we have seen their coordination evidence, right? All their group chats that Charlotte released, right? That we have seen so far. So it's classic projection. That's what it is. That's what she's trying to do. No, you. That's what this attempt is, right? She doesn't have any evidence, and she presents a list of people and platforms and just calls it, a conspiracy. That's association as proof. That's not how it works, right? Then Gish Gallop by name list like Porkchop, Manias, Chesh, Mandy, Sue, unveiling, listing a bunch of accounts creates the feeling of a swarm, right? It's a rhetorical, many names, therefore menace trick. It's quantity over evidence. Darwo vibes, right? As I said, no you. She's trying to flip the script here, that it's us, not her. We saw that they are the ones in the messages sharing all the documents that they're not supposed to share with each other. Erin sabotaging Veda. They are talking to each other and discussing strategies and colluding and conspiring against Charlotte, right? Erin is framing that no one has bothered this person over 2 years while simultaneously claiming a cross-platform harassment campaign. Those two ideas don't comfortably coexist without details and receipts. And it's a classic reversal tactic. We are the victims, anyone responding is the aggressor. Conveniently, right? If she wants to argue stalking, she needs to describe stalking behaviors, not just outrage and adjectives. Simple as that. So, oh my god, this is a fucking like, what the fuck would people mean actually, blah blah blah. I don't know what they're talking here. He gave an opinion about a week later. Immediately, he didn't know the truth of it. He believed it was possible that they were behind some shit. He said in the mod call that he didn't care. He said he doesn't know if Charlotte did it, but then he is still going to make that claim in the court. If you don't know and you're still making that claim, that's lying. Simple as that. What are you trying to accuse us of now? It's nothing new. It's the same thing. You're harassing Charla, right? Blah blah blah. And then this one here. This one here. Hold on. But I think more. Here is Sean. And then Erin. Both harassers. Both have lifetime restraining orders against them now, if I'm not wrong. And still talking about Charla. So, Erin. Again, talking about her TRO, our restraining order, when she is not supposed to be talking about this, right? Jessica Johnson from the live chat. This is Brett Keane levels of emotional manipulation. Tell me about it. Seriously. That's why I wanted to talk about it today. And I think so I'll just keep to the tweets today, because this is more than enough. It's already almost like more than how many hours I've been streaming now. Yeah, 2.5 hours. So I think so I'll just stop at the tweets. We'll do this one sometime. Some other time. Just take it out of the way. So here is Erin saying, in November 2023, I did send my TRO order to Cheshire to show her how she was being lied to and to help avoid looking exactly like she does right now. I don't know what you're talking about, what she does like now. She is a witness in the restraining order harassment case. Simple as that. Right? I made the file accessible to anyone with the link, but once I saw Cheshire didn't care about the facts, I shut down all public access to that file on December 2023. No, I think so you shut it down because I think so you realized that, you know, that Chesh is not going to stay quiet about it. She's like, what the fuck? Since then, you have needed specific permission and a link to access, which is why in June of 2024, when the other party tried to access the file, she was denied, and I was sent an email asking me if I wanted to grant them access. This is all documented in my Google Drive info and activity. I wouldn't even bother to send Chesh a bag of dicks anymore, let alone court info or documents. So, oh yeah, I remember that. True, that's Sean here. Obviously, is just the yes man. That's all he is. So. This is also ironic. This is someone asking, what do you call a man who won't even take a part-time job while his wife works 2 full-time jobs to support the family? And she responds with single. And I'm like, is this what is going on with you? You have 2 part-time jobs and you're single? Is that what's happening with you? Your partner left you because of all the bullshit that you've been doing, and you had like take 2 part-time jobs now? Just asking. So in this tweet, right, what she's trying to do is she's trying to do 3 things at once. She's narrating herself as the only adult in the room, that that she shared the court docs publicly, you know, criticism, launder a bunch of assertions into this is all documented without actually showing the documentation. I don't know if she showed anything. I don't remember. Did she? No, I don't see anything here. No, I don't see anything here. So yeah, even if she did, right, the fact remains that she gave access to Chesh when she wasn't supposed to. That remains, right? Just you're saying because you said that the receipts exist doesn't mean that the receipts exist, right? The timeline doesn't absolve the core issue. She did share a court order and did enable link access to anyone with the link. If someone is criticizing her for distributing court material and then losing control of distribution, this tweet admits the key act. Simple as that. Locking the file later doesn't retroactively make the initial sharing disappear. You know, it's still public if anyone has the link, right? And also this whole thing of like to look exactly like she's does right now, as if everyone's supposed to know what Chesh is looking like right now. What is she looking like? Can you explain? I think so. You are looking like an idiot for talking about your restraining order when you're not supposed to, talking about Charla when you're not supposed to, making claims against Charla again and again when you're not supposed to. You're looking like an idiot. right? And over here, this thing, why is it when I click on the account from the old DM thread I have with them on Twitter and it brings me to their account, it still says account suspended? Man, Twitter is stupid, number one, and I'm not going to explain it to you how it works, so you need to figure that out yourself. And this one is interesting one, right? This I said to, like, yeah, obviously, you know, so Erin admits she dragged Chesh into all this, right? And she said, obviously Chesh dragged herself into her own bullshit. As I just explained on why I sent anything to her in 2023, then Chesh cemented her feet in bullshit, then ignored my DM and chose to run with the lies. Keep up here, sundown. So, she's trying to do three things here at once. That's what she tries to do in everything now she does. She's trying to rewrite history, outsource responsibility. Again, it's never her fault, it's the other person's fault, right? When she is the one who initiated the action, the initial action was her, right? And then lob an insult to try and short circuit your brain. And I'm just like, nice try. Jessica Johnson from the live chat, honestly, if I had a partner that was continuing to do contempt, I would probably break up with them as well. Fair. Fair. So what Erin is doing rhetorically is, and why it's sloppy, if I might dare say, is like, she's responsibility laundering, right? Right? She's like, Chesh dragged herself in it. It's an attempt to erase Erin's own initiating act, that she sent the TRO and reaching out to Chesh and providing the material in 2023. Cheshire can have agency, and Erin can still have pulled her into the orbit by feeding her code documents and narrative framing. Those are compatible truths. Victim blaming disguised as logic, right? She cemented her feet in bullshit when she ignored my DM, equal to, if you don't accept my version, you deserve what happens next. Right? That's not argument, it's moral threat with extra steps. That's what it is. False premise, I explained why, therefore I'm absolved. Explaining motive is not exoneration. I had reason doesn't erase I did the act. Poisoning the well, labeling everything lies and bullshit preloads the audience to treat any counter evidence as contamination. It's a rhetorical air refreshener over a garbage bin. That's all it is. Ad hominem plus ableist swipe, right? Keep up here, sundown, is not only irrelevant, it's an ableist dig implying cognitive decline. It's also tell when people are confident in their argument, they don't need to lean on disability coded insults for traction, right? Timeline sleight of hand, she collapses multiple choices and moments sent in 2023, ignored my DM, ran with lies into a single narrative of inevitability where Erin is always the passive bystander. That's the narrative convenience, not evidence. Right? So, Erin, you sent her the stuff. You made the initial act. You did the initial action. So you dragged her into it. Simple as that. And then this one here, right? I said Erin admits she dragged Chesh into all this, so she had to give another. She had to quote tweet me, but then she also had to reply to me, obviously. So she said, oh my god, I love how you see Chesh as this naive, gullible, ignorant fool to be led anywhere by such a nincompoop like me. She's trying. She's so mad I call her a nincompoop. Oh god, she's so mad. Like she was just too stupid to see where I was dragging her. Oh my god, I'm dying right now. I mean, even I think more highly of her than that. Not much when you only have upwards to go. Teehee. Erin, you shared court documents with her which were supposed to be sealed. So obviously it became Chesh's responsibility towards, like, she became responsible towards the court. because you involved in her in almost an act of perjury or a crime actually to share or contempt of court. You committed contempt of court and you dragged her into it. So she became responsible towards the court. You idiot! Why are you so stupid? The Athens from the live chat said, Erin is being racist against you when she keeps saying sundown. Now, if this was happening towards Sean, he would be tweeting about it non-stop. So, I guess he only wants racism on people he hates. Yeah, we know that they're racist towards me. Erin, she called me Dobby the house elf, so we know that. She's a racist piece of shit. And when she realized the mistake she made, she tried to weaponize my fat joke as if that was some sort of racism thing when it wasn't. So basically what Erin is doing in this one is, right? It's a carnival, it's a little carnival of deflection what's going on. She doesn't engage with my point. She reframes it as somehow I am insulting Cheshire, then she sprinkles emojis on top of glitter on a landfill. That's what she's doing. Strawman, you know, I said, you dragged her into this, and responds as if you said Cheshire is stupid and easily manipulated. That's not the same claim. Mote and Bailey, my actual claim is about Erin's behavior involving Cheshire. She treats it as, she retreats to an easier claim to defend. I'm not powerful enough to manipulate Cheshire, or Cheshire has agency. False dilemma. Either Cheshire is a helpless idiot or Erin doesn't involve her. Reality, Cheshire can have agency and Erin can still have tried to recruit her. And that's what happened. She tried to recruit Chesh and it backfired in her face. She shared documents with Chesh that she wasn't supposed to, and she made Chesh responsible towards the court. Chesh was now party to documents that she was not supposed to receive. What was she supposed to do? Help Erin break the law? Help Erin commit contempt? Or be on the right side of the law and be a witness and say, yeah, she sent me stuff, Your Honor. What the fuck? And that too unprompted. Chesh never asked for anything. Erin just sent it to her and made her responsible for, you know, her committing contempt. And the only way Chesh could have gotten, you know, out of that chain link of committing contempt was by being a witness and saying to the judge, I didn't want this, she just sent it to me. What am I supposed to do? Right? Even if she's in another country, Chesh felt that she should be responsible towards the court. And what does she get in return? Erin attacking her. This is also tone policing and mockery over here, right? The emojis and I'm dying, they're to make audience laugh so she doesn't have to answer and it's not working. It's just forced, right? Backhanded insult to Cheshire. Even I think highly of her, not much. She's using Cheshire as a prop, not defending her. It's I respect you, lol, no I don't. Status play, calling you condescending. You think she's gullible while she herself is being, you know, calling you? Calling the reader condescending. No. Calling me condescending. Yeah, while she herself is being openly demeaning. Classic. Right? So, and the end is teehee. Like, this is so forced. It's actually so forced. Right? Again, this is not about Cheshire's intelligence. This is about your actions and your own admission, Erin. That's what it is. You're trying to make it about Chesh's, you know, Cheshire's intelligence or agency when it's not. Right? You can make people party to your contempt or to your court cases without, you know, without their permission or their consent. By unprompted sending them stuff they never asked for. And suddenly there's something sitting in the inbox and they're like, what the fuck? So yeah, try again, Erin. That was cute. So we come to this. She's like 5 a.m. She doesn't know time zones exist. She thinks it's only America and there's no other country in this world, I guess. You know. So yeah. So I guess I will leave it here because we are almost getting to 3 hours. And we'll do the other part some other day. I think so this is more than enough for today. And for her to, you know, cry about, I guess. But yeah, thanks for coming. I really appreciate this. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, you know, rhetorical skinning. But yeah, if we go back, like, just she's trying to pretend that she's working in a bar. Did Katie Joy repent or report blah blah blah? Okay, whatever. Doing shit for him, blah blah blah. So that's Katie Joy. Like, you have issues with Katie Joy. Why are you dragging Charlotte into this? I don't get it. Seriously. Where is it? Yeah, so here we are. She's trying to, like, again, share stuff from way back. Again, trying to rewrite history over here. When we know that these people, they just twist everything. And you can go and read those texts yourself. You will see there's nothing as grave as they are trying to, you know, trying to put it in there. It's nothing. It's just Charlotte inquiring, like, what's going on? Why are people ghosting me? Why are people talking, you know, stuff about me that I don't know about? It's just her trying to deal with, like, these fucking assholes, like 4 to 5 of them at a time. That's all it is. Here we go. Veda. So yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, Erin sabotaged Veda also. Fucking gave whatever Veda had for evidence to Renell. That was funny. Alright, cool. Thank you everyone for coming. And apparently Erin doesn't know time zones exist, and I'm not in the same time zone as she is, and she's an idiot. Obviously, she can't tell time. So, yeah, I guess that's a funny way to end this. This is funny. Alright. Thank you everyone for coming. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Oh? See, that would be intimidating if you were, well, intimidating.
Are you mocking me?
Oh no, no. Yeah.